So I used their tears to make the flowers grow. Anyways, I found what looked like an arm on a pedestal and I grabbed it. Apparently it was a gun. Every time I lose my life to these monsters, it just fuels my hatred for children. In this video, I played 3 random games that are filled with monsters. Will I be able to survive these monsters or will I get destroyed by them? Well, let's find out by jumping into monster bonds. Hello, researcher. I need your help to identify some wild monsters. Match exact pairs of monsters to deliver them to me. Remember, it's crucial that the pairs are exactly equal. Good luck. Now we're on the first level where we have to match up monsters with each other. This game is pretty easy so far because there were only a couple of monsters on the screen in each level and they weren't doing anything to stop me. In the fourth level, I encountered these red monsters which had to merge with each other to form into a bigger monster, which I then bonded to the other big monster. All the monsters looked similar but their eyes were closed differently, so I had to match them by their eyes. I was also able to change which eye was closed on them, which helped. Well, those are very different monsters, but apparently they were equal enough with each other. At first, this level looked pretty easy until these monsters started to sing different songs. I had to match the monsters by the music notes that were coming out of their mouth. Now, this stage had flowers which were apparently monsters that I needed to make equal. I had no idea how to make them grow, and I had to restart, but these baby monsters can cry, which allowed the flowers to grow. So I used their tears to make the flowers grow. Anyways, this stage had an odd amount of monsters, so I had to find another one to complete the level. I did find it hiding in the level 9 text, which was pretty smart. Now this level had teleporting monsters which I couldn't patch, so I had to move on to the next game. But before we move on, if you're enjoying this video so far, then leave a like and subscribe. Subscribing really helps out my channel and helps me to make more videos. Anyways, let's move on. Next game is Dead Guy, a platformer game where I have to use a gun. Anyways, let's begin by digging ourselves out of the grave. When I got out of the grave, I started to walk around. Why am I awake? I thought I was dead. Well, now we're undead. Anyways, I found what looked like an arm on a pedestal and I grabbed it. Apparently it was a gun. When I got it, I thought I was going to start shooting enemies, but I had to use the gun to do parkour instead. I just want to go back to sleep. Me too, kid. After getting through a couple of large gaps, I encountered a large wall, which I had to climb up to move on to the next level. Also, at this part, I was starting to think that this gun was only going to be used for parkour, and I was right. It took me a bit to get up the wall, but I managed to get up to this part where I still needed to climb up. I was struggling for a bit and then I fell back down to the floor, which was pretty annoying. After I got up, I quickly beat the level. This stage was much easier compared to the last one. I then thought that this area might have a secret, so I jumped to my death. I beat the level when I respawned. Why are there spikes in this place? And why are there so many of them? Well, I'm dead again. Let's just move on to the last game. Last game is this pull, where I have to pull a disc to defeat enemies. Anyways, let's begin by grabbing this spell. In this stage, we have to pull this saw blade to get rid of this enemy, without getting rid of myself. Anyways, I grabbed the pill. Now at this level, I had to eliminate 9 enemies without ending myself. And I had to get rid of the children. Clowns also started to appear. After getting a lot of kills, I was then defeated by a child. Also, the red stuff on the walls is just ketchup. And I got a double kill before getting eliminated. Every time I lose my life to these monsters, it just fuels my hatred for children. After I lost a couple of times, I got this run where I was being very careful as to not be hit. I was cornered and then taken out by another child. So this was the run where I managed to beat the challenge. I sped up the footage because it took me a long time to get rid of the last enemy. This thing got into an area that I couldn't reach, so I had to wait for it to get out of that area and float into the saw blade. But at least I beat the level. Now the next stage was a bit more difficult and heartbreaking. A lot of the enemies started to flow out the portals, and I had to dodge them while trying to direct the disc into hitting them. That's a lot of ketchup. I also hate these clowns. I managed to get rid of every enemy except for one, which I nearly got rid of if it weren't for the fact that I was also hit by the saw. Anyways, if you want to watch more of my content, then click any of the videos on screen. Anyways, adios.